keep you close. They want to control your posture. When we're on our back, we want to control the person's posture. So he's trying to he's controlling my posture with that hand on the head. So if I just try to pull up, not going to happen. If I try to move around, he's just going to follow me. I can't get my head out of here, right? And maybe I'm hitting, but he just tucks his chin, and I can't really hit him too well, right? So we have to be able to take this off. The way to take it off is to, again, remember I'm talking about keeping your tricep here? If I go here, he might triangle me. He might throw that leg over my, and there we go, right? Now you got some problems. And you're like, oh, come on, some guy in the street going to triangle you? How many people do jiu-jitsu? Lots of people do jiu-jitsu. So from right here, best way to take that hand off your neck is I'm going to keep my tricep glued to his thigh to stop the triangle. I'm going to put my hand here, and instead of trying to push it off, I just keep it where it is and move my head out. And now I can get posture. I start to punch. Boom, right? And then you start hitting the groin shots. And that is quite effective. You know what people tend to do? They open their guard. If they have a closed guard and you can posture here and get a couple, they tend to open the guard, and now you're into getting out of there, passing if you want to subdue the person. Okay? Now just real quickly, we're going half guard, right? So we're still on top. This is striking from the top. Half guard, stopping at the top. Pretty simple idea. Just going to try to get a hold of this hand. Going to try to go here, and now I can do my headbutts over and over again. He'll, of course, adjust his hand and put his in. Now you're back to your punches, your elbows, right? Everything in here. So the same thing. You have punches, elbows, and headbutts. Your side control. Move this way. Now, I might elbow, right? I might go into a case of position, maybe elbow. The nice thing you have here now is you have the knees, right? You can come up, keep them here, and you can really work those knees. A lot of times we'll have a cross face, though, so we can take that around again. I have a cross face. I switch my base here. I have a reverse kesa, like I'm going to go to mount. Instead, you start hitting to the groin. Well, that makes your mount a lot easier. Just since this happened, anytime you mount and the person's arm is underneath your leg when you mount, you have to be aware that he might lift this up and go out the back door, right, and escape. So anytime that happens, he's going to like bridge up and bridge me forward, boom, like this, and he's going to be out. So if this happens, to keep that, just raise their head. Now when he bridges, the bridge doesn't work anymore. Okay, so just since it happened, I thought I'd mention that. That's for all your grappling. Of course, you can go to a triangle, and you can switch to a triangle right here if you want to. But then for street, you can just elbow right here, or you can actually finish if you prefer. But basically, from side control, you are looking for the groin shots to facilitate your jiu-jitsu. Not necessarily finish him, but you do that to make him put his legs. Do that one again. On cross face, as we'll talk about in a little bit, the bite. I want to be very aware. I don't want to be here. I want to make sure that it's very difficult for him to bite. If you want to mount, if you hit to the groin, they put their knees together, right? He might even pull his knees up here still. He puts his knees together, right? Easy to go here or come through again. So, pretty simple. Mount, you know what to do, right? Side control, just remember, with the striking for street self-defense, extreme. And again, those that say, I wouldn't want to hit the groin, yeah, that's not manly, or that's not fair. Well, think about if you're teaching a young lady, teaching a girl this needs to defend herself against somebody much bigger and stronger. Man, I'm teaching my 9-year-old daughter to hit the groin, thumb the eyes, do that whole thing, along with her very skillful technical jiu-jitsu. I just want to add a little something to the last one. I mentioned briefly that, he's trying to control my posture, right? And he might grab my head, all this sort of thing, and I'm looking to come out while checking his leg. I mentioned one time, when I come out, I might put my hand here briefly. Well, this is important because I want to control his posture too. In other words, I don't want him to sit up and get into a double underhook position or body lock right there. So if you do sit up, say you're in here, you're going to sit up, I suggest putting your palm just under the rib cage. So you have a handle so it doesn't slip so much. And you just go right here and you put pressure down. Let's turn a little so you can see. Pressure down here. So when he goes to sit up, this makes it hard for him to do a crunch to sit up. And that will keep the person down. Okay. One thing we didn't talk about in striking, which we'll talk about a little bit, is those finger jabs are in there too, right? But usually striking is the impact. So from right here. Another thing though, anytime I'm coming up, I'm always looking for the person to sit up. And when he does, grabbing the throat, that helps a lot, which we'll look at later too. So I just want to mention that. Control the posture even when you're on top. Let's look at striking from the bottom. Okay? So, at the bottom, whether it's closed guard, open guard, you know, self-defense, you have to realize, again, when this person is bigger and stronger than you, the threat of them lifting you and slamming your head in the ground is real. The heavy, heavy punches from top is real. You know, especially about the lifting and slamming. You know, if I go and I pop up to triangle, well, he's strong enough. Yeah, he's going to actually lift me up and probably smash my head in the ground. Even if I go inside the leg, it might sort of keep him from lifting me too high. But I'm probably going to have to let go of the triangle there, especially when we're not on a padded surface. Okay, so just something to think about. We'll look at that later too. But I want to bring up the eye jab. Okay. Talking about finger jabbing to the eyes. It's like that. Okay? This is a great way because, again, striking the eyes and the groin, even to the throat, are a means of giving yourself a little bit of time, a little bit of space to employ good jiu-jitsu. Okay? So I'm here. Boom, I end up on my back. Bang! Right? He sits back, right? You go like this, boom. Put my foot in the hip, and there's where I can possibly get a finger jab just enough to do what? To now come up and get off the ground. So it's a good way to give yourself a little time to get off the ground. Now the problem is in self-defense because people tend not to train with resistance.